everyone knows Tom Sawyer, and almost everyone likes him, with the possible exception of a certain category known as exasperated mothers. But he's known for his daring exploits, his wild imagination, and a strong, mischievous streak. This last characteristic often causes people to present Sawyer in a way that is not to be emulated. But personally, I would not be so dissuading of the character. This is because I think that people are better off as mentally strong and independent, rather than people who spend all their time online or inside and face few challenges or discomforts. Most of today's adults even would not be the type to paddle out to a deserted island at midnight or break into a robber's apartment. I would rather encourage such a sense of adventure in myself and others. This is for two reasons. Firstly, because a life of adventure is far more fulfilling than one lived safely in the shelter of the indoors. Secondly, because the problems in society we face today require robust and strong-minded characters to face the overwhelming pressure of today's perverse culture. Now, according to a poll taken by Common Sense Media in 2019, the average screen time for an 8 to 11-year-old is approximately 4 hours and 44 minutes. And by the ages of 13 to 18, we're up to about 7 hours and 22 minutes. Now, this media is almost entirely in the form of entertainment that does not inspire action or adventure like the books of the past. This would be things such as social media or video games. The same poll said that around 30% of teens either read recreationally once monthly or not at all. And the average teen spends about 12 minutes a day reading print books, and that's including school or other non-recreational activities. I think this puts today's children in a very poor position to grow up to become strong characters. They face little difficulty and are rarely presented with good role models like they would get from reading, and are basically rewarded for sitting around. This is because the brain releases dopamine when doing things such as playing video games, and then you feel that sense of reward even though you haven't really accomplished something. Now, stack this on top of the fact that I think our society has already been facing a negative influx of strong characters. And I think this is represented by the fact that society has been on the decline of innovation and exploration for many years now. This is evidenced by the fact that we landed on the moon more than 50 years ago, but have made relatively little space innovation since. Applications to the military are getting lower all the time, and many are disqualified due to obesity or health problems. The last city we built was Miami in 1896, despite America having thousands upon thousands of acres of unused land. What I'm trying to say is we are generally not pushing the boundaries of innovation as much as we were 30, 40, even 50 years ago, and many scientists would say the same. And this is generally true across most fields, in medical, engineering, possible exception of computers, but that's debated. Now, there's also the fact that people in the past were generally more exposed to pain and difficulty. They did not have things such as running water, and electricity, and AC. Science shows that difficulty leads to growth, while ease leads to stagnation. This is why we have things like freedom today. If Washington hadn't had the grit to cross the Delaware, our lives might be very different today. But that grit was built by facing and overcoming difficulty in his childhood and life. But my guess is that few of today's men would be volunteering to jump in those boats with Washington because they are unaccustomed to hardship. Now, as you've hopefully gathered, I don't believe that our society is generally producing strong, robust characters that will accomplish great things. So, what can we do about this? Firstly, we can start by changing ourselves, of course. I would challenge you to get out there and take more risks. Join Tom Sawyer's gang, be a more interesting character, visit new places, have more fun, and generally live life. And when you grow up and have kids, make sure that they live life too. This world needs some Tom Sawyers right about now, and you guys could be one. Thank you for listening to my speech.